The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hey there. Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad you've tuned in tonight, and as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Games are going final as we speak, and right here in Southwest Missouri had a big Nixa Republic game, and it just went finals. Nixa kicks a field goal as time expires, and they defeat Republic 31-28, a game that went to overtime last year in which Republic won. And we have reached out to coaches throughout the evening. We'll be joined here shortly by a coach from Scott City. Jim May will be joining us here as they played last night and got a victory. And we'll run through some of the other scores as we get them. You can send them to @Scoreboard Guy on Twitter. You can text me at 417-327-6914. Or if you want to jump on our YouTube channel, you can message us, and I'll put the chat wall up, and your chats will pop right in there. Let us know if you're listening or watching here. The segment's brought to you by Iona Labor's Local 663, who remind everyone, hey, drive safely in work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. And Bambino's Italian Cafe. Bambino's, home of the Quarterback Club, every Monday at noon. Come down and join us for a great meal and fellowship with Springfield area coaches, high school and colleges. We'll get right to the scoreboard as we have them right now. It was Bishop DeBerg on top of Lutheran South 39-37. Scott City last night defeated Charleston 55-20, and we'll be hearing from Coach May here shortly about that contest. Adrian defeats Colcamp 55-6. Let's see if we can get some other games coming up here. Chaffee over Donovan 13-0. That was a forfeit. Timberland defeats Francis Howell North 32-21. It was Troy Buchanan over Fort Zumwalt 49-0. St. Paul Lutheran defeats Hardin Central 51-8. Northeast Kansas City over Highland Park, Kansas. Highland Park, Kansas defeats Northeast Kansas City 36-16. It was Bolivar 47, Hillcrest 7. Mountain Grove over Houston 27-12. Joplin 49, Carthage 21. Lafayette County defeats Lexington 58-6. It was Lindbergh over Melville 35-0. And we'll be hearing from Coach Nathan Norman at Lindbergh here at the top of the hour. It was Moberly over Mexico 13-0. East Buchanan defeats Mid Buchanan 35-6. Pierce City over Miller 28-6. Schuyler County defeats Northland Christian 62-14. It was Harrisonville over Oak Grove 45-14. Palmyra defeats Highland 44-0. Parkway West over Parkway Central 35-7. Milan defeats Polo 28-7. It was Poplar Bluff over Kennett 42-7. Slater 46, Knox County 26. South Nottoway shuts out DeKalb 60-0. It was Southern Boone over Osage 35-14. Crystal City defeats TDW Prep 13-0 in a forfeit. And earlier today, Christian Brothers College out of St. Louis went to Warren Central in Indiana and won 47-3. Bowling Green 52, Wright City 6. Elsewhere was Mount Vernon. Hang on, let me get to the top of the screen. I apologize. We've got a lot of things going on here. It's week 8 of high school football. Next week will be the final week of the regular season. Steve Carvajal jumping in the chat room. How you doing, Coach Carvajal? Nice to hear from you. Rockhurst defeats SLU 40-22. Monroe City over Macon 36-7. It was Central. St. Joe over Oak Park 43-37. And that's in the fourth quarter, so that game has not gone final. In the third quarter, Rockbridge leads Hickman 33-0. Elsewhere, it was Pacific over Herman in the fourth quarter, 35-12. Kickapoo defeats Glendale 26-0. In the fourth quarter, Maryville on top of Savannah 39-20. Elsewhere in the fourth quarter, South Callaway leads Mark Twain 14-12. Fort Zumwalt North in the fourth quarter on top of Fort Zumwalt South 21-14. In the fourth quarter, Penny on top of Wellington Napoleon 56-12. In the third quarter, Ladue leads Riverview Gardens 17-0. In the third quarter, Branson on top of Ozark 28-0. In the fourth quarter, it's Warrenton on top of Orchard Farm 28-13. Helias defeats Smith Cotton 63-0. In the fourth quarter, Lafayette and Rittenhour are tied at 21. In the fourth quarter, Stratford is shutting out Lighthouse Christian 42-0. In the third quarter, it's Ava on top of Kabul 28-0. Butler on top of Forsyth 25-14. Trenton in the fourth quarter on top of Gallatin 14-6. And in the third quarter, Lincoln trails Midway 36-14. In the fourth quarter, St. Pius on top of Bayless 41-8. In the fourth quarter, Howell leads Howell Central 49-28. In the third quarter, North Platte shutting out West Platte 36-0. In the third quarter, Chrisman trailing Grain Valley 61-16. In the third quarter, Sarcoxy on top of Diamond 18-0. Sullivan in the fourth quarter leads Owensville 28-7. Also in the fourth quarter, Capital City on top of Truman 28-7. In the third quarter was New Madrid County Central on top of Sykeston 33-8. West Plains in the fourth quarter leading Parkview 44-6. Marquette in the third quarter on top of Hazelwood West 30-0. Fair Grove at last report leading Clever 44-0. Webb City at Neosho, and I think I've got maybe a final on that game here, as I can check in here real quick. Again, you're listening to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Other finals, Lamar, they defeat Cassville 41-7. Marionville shuts out Ash Grove 42-0. It was Seneca on top of McDonald County 38-14. Lebanon defeats Camdenton 34-26. It was Ava over Kabul 54-14. Mount Vernon defeats Marshfield 56-21. Webb City, there's that final. They defeat Neosho 37-18. Nevada shuts out Monette 48-0. Fair Grove, that has gone final 58-0 over Clever. Elsewhere, Joplin defeats Carthage 49-28. Aurora defeats East Newton 32-7. Thayer 68. Willow Springs 14. It was Mountain Grove 27-12 over Houston. Warsaw defeats Skyline 34-6. Willard defeats Carl Junction 22-14, and they go to 4-4 on the season. College Heights 82, Jasper 28. Lockwood over Appleton City 58-22. Midway defeats Lincoln 50-20. Adrian over Cole Camp 55-6. We'll see if any other scores have been updated to the Misha website. You can go to scoreboardguy.net. Later on this evening or in the morning, we'll have all the scores there for you. Raytown South over Excelsior Springs 36-20. Timberland defeats Francis Howell North 32-21. Troy Buchanan shuts out Fort Zumwalt West 49-0. It was Blair Oaks 49-0 over Hallsville. Highland Park defeats Northeast Kansas City 36-16. Mountain Grove 27-12 over Houston. Kickapoo defeats Glendale 40-0. It was Lafayette County over Lexington 58-6. Lindbergh 35-0 over Melville. Liberty, they defeat 15-10 over Lee's Summit. And we welcome to the show now Scott City head football coach Jim May. Coach May, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, no problem at all. Appreciate you having me on.
Coach, you get a big win last night over Charleston, 55-20. Kind of tell us a little bit about last night's contest.
Early in the game when things went our way, we only ran like 18 offensive plays in the first half. We had an interception for a touchdown, a fumble return for a touchdown, and then we had some defensive stops that set us up with short fields, and it led to a good halftime score for us.
Coach, tell us a little bit about some of the players on your team and how they're doing this season.
Mark Panagas, our quarterback, he's a really talented player. He's having a pretty good season. He got hurt early in the year with some hamstring issues and some MCLs. He's been battling through, starting to get healthy. He had a really good game last night. He rushed for about 168 yards on 10 carries and threw for about another 110 or so. And then our running back, Tyson Underwood, went over 1,000 yards last night. And he's also a senior, also a really good player for us, and they're both having a really good season.
That's 4 in a row for Scott City. And tell us a little bit about maybe the turnaround. Has it been a schedule issue? Your schedule gotten a little bit better for you?
Well, like I said, we went through some injuries early on. Week 1, we lost 4 offensive starters in the first quarter, and it was probably about week 5 before we really started getting ourselves back together again. You know, being a small school, we're not super deep, and it really took a toll on us. And we've got everybody back, and we're healthy. We're starting to roll a little bit.
Again, this is you're going into week 9 here. You've got Donovan next week. Tell us a little bit about Donovan and what you're going to have to do there.
Actually, Donovan's already forfeited. They canceled their season. They did that last week before this week's game, so they're not even playing tonight. And they've called it a season.
So what happens then? Do you guys try and find a game, or what's the protocol there?
We've looked everywhere we could look to find a game, and there is nothing we can do to find a game right now. And there's nobody really to play. We've looked Arkansas, Tennessee, and Illinois, and so we're just stuck with the forfeit, and it's like a 13-0 win.
Outstanding, Coach. And you're in a very tough district there with Valley Catholic, New Madrid County Central, yourself. Kelly's 6-2 in that district. Tell us a little bit about that district and how you kind of feel about going into it.
Well, New Madrid County Central is undefeated still. They beat Class 4 Sykes tonight, I know. Valley Catholic is, they're Valley Catholic. They're always at the top of the heap, and they're always really, really well. And then we know that it's going to be a tough hill to climb to get past those two guys. We're going to have to play really, really well. We're going to have to play our best at that time to be able to have a chance to make that happen.
Very good. And Coach, it was kind of nice to connect with you today. I understand my former high school football coach is on your staff, and I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, Coach Flanagan, he's been around for a really long time. He's a really good coach. He's a great player, and he's awesome to have around.
He is indeed. And, as a matter of fact, my dad coached him at the college level, so it's kind of a full circle there. But it was great to know where he's at.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, and he's still at it every day.
You bet. Well, Coach, I greatly appreciate you being part of this, part of the show tonight. Congratulations on your win last night, and best of luck as you head into districts.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate you having me on.
You bet. Coach Jim May from Scott City, as they go to 7-2, they will finish 7-2 because that game, the Week 9 game, has already been forfeited to them. So what we'll do right now, we'll take a quick time out. You're listening to and watching the Missouri Sports Network, Friday Night Live on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Back after this.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. We'll update some scores here as we're going through the evening, but you can send them to us on Twitter at Scoreboard Guy or at _sports. You can also text them to me at 417-327-6914, or you can jump on our chat box here. We've already heard from Coach Carvajal in the chat box, and if you want to be a part of it there, just send us a little note, and we will get you out on the air. And if you've got a score that we haven't read yet, that'd be great as well. We'll go through some games from last night. So I mentioned Scott City defeats Charleston 55-20. Timberland over Francis Howell 32-21. It was Highland Park, Kansas over Northeast Kansas City 36-16. Parkway West defeats Parkway Central 35-7. It was Slater over Knox County 46-26. Games on the schedule for Saturday. Let's see here. All games on Saturday will be Greenfield at Bishop LeBlond. Springfield Central will be at Boonville. University City will be at Clayton. Jennings will be at Hazelwood East. St. Michael the Archangel will be at Hogan Prep Academy. Roosevelt will be at John Burroughs. Salem will be at Liberty Mountain View. Kirkwood is at McClure. St. Dominic is at MICDS. Priory will be at Principia. And Crystal City was scheduled to play TDW Prep Academy, but TDW has already forfeited that game. Van Horn will be at University Academy Charter, and Live for Life will be at Vashon. On the scoreboard tonight, Bishop DeBerg defeats Bishop DeBerg defeats Lutheran South 39-37. It was Central Park Hills 44-10 over Dexter. Adrian defeats Colcamp 55-6. Doniphan forfeits to Chaffee 13-0. Westminster Christian Academy shuts out Duchesne 49-0. Raytown South over Excelsior Springs 36-20. Troy Buchanan shuts out Fort Zumwalt West 49-0. With St. Vincent shutting out Grandview defeating Grandview 35-13. Blair Oaks shuts out Hallsville 49-0. St. Paul Lutheran 51-8 over Hardin Central. Bolivar over Hillcrest 44-7. It was Kickapoo over Glendale 40-0. Lafayette County 58, Lexington 6. Liberty over Lee Summit 15-10. Lindbergh defeats Melville 35-0. It was Reed Springs 17, Logan Rogersville 13, and that game has just gone final. That was 10-10. It was 0-0 to end the first quarter, 10-10 at half, 10-10 to end the third quarter. So a real battle there in Logan Rogersville. It was Monroe City 36-7 over Macon. Marceline, one better than Western, 14-13. Both members of Class 1 District 4. Marionville defeats Ash Grove 42-0, and they're both members of Class 1 District 1. That only Ash Grove's only second loss on the season. Marquette, they go to 6-2. So they shut out Hazelwood West 44-0. Was Moberly shutting out Mexico 13-0. East Buchanan over Mid Buchanan 35-6. Pierce City defeats Miller 28-6. South Holt over Mound City 54-26. North Shelby defeats Oric 64-18. Schuyler County over Northland Christian 62-14. Oak Grove, they defeat Harrisonville 40-20. It was Odessa 49, Chillicothe 6. Pacific over Herman 42-20. Palmyra shuts out Highland 44-0. Milan over Polo 28-7. Poplar Bluff defeats Kennett 42-7. Rockhurst defeats Slough 40-22. Elias Catholic shuts out Smith Cotton 63-0. South Nottoway over DeKalb 60-0. South Shelby over Centralia 48-14. Both teams coming into that game were undefeated on the season. Centralia, Class 3 District 4 team, they go to 7-1 now. South Shelby is a very good Class 2 team who goes to 8-0. Southern Boone over Osage 35-14. St. Clair over Windsor Imperial 55-14. St. Joseph Christian 80-44 over Princeton in 8-man football. Was St. Pius over St. Pius X out of Festus over Bayless 48-8. St. Genevieve over Jefferson Festa 49-7. Thayer defeats Willow Springs 68-14. Christian Brothers, the Christian Brothers wins 47-3 over Warren Central, Indiana. Penny 56, Wellington Napoleon 24. Winfield 7, Cuba 0. And that is a final, 7-0. Worth County, they defeat King City 62-8. Bowling Green over Wright City 52-6. Checking other websites here. We'll see if we've got some finals here elsewhere. We'll run through some of the newspapers here. Lamar over Cassville 41-7. Marionville defeats Ash Grove 42-0. Seneca over McDonald County 38-14. Nixa defeats Republic 31-28. Lebanon over Camdenton 34-26. That virtually locks up the 1 seed in that district for Lebanon as they go to 8-0. Ava 54, Kabul 14. Mount Vernon over Marshfield 56-21. Webb City defeats Neosho 37-8. And I apologize. Nevada over Monette 48-0. It was Fairgrove over Clever 58-0. Elsewhere, Kickapoo shuts out Glendale 40-0. Joplin over Carthage 49-21. Branson defeats Ozark 35-7. Reed Spring over Rogersville 17-13. Bolivar over Hillcrest 44-7. West Plains defeats Parkview. West Plains defeats Parkview tonight, and I lost where I was. 44-20. Rolla defeats Hillcrest 28-7. And that's not correct because Rolla did not play Hillcrest. Bolivar played Hillcrest, so that's a misprint there, and I apologize. Okay. Pierce City over Miller, 28-6. Warsaw defeats Skyline, 34-6. College Heights over Jasper, 82-28. Liberal defeats Rich Hill as well. And we welcome to the show now Lindbergh head coach Nathan Norman. Coach Norman, thanks so much for being part of the show tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Coach, a big win tonight. Talk about tonight's contest.
Yeah, we had a big win. We played Melville tonight at home. We got to play a lot of our players tonight, which was good. We got up on them. We were fortunate enough that we got a lead early, and we were able to play some of our young guys tonight, which is always good.
Coach, that's 3 in a row for you. What do you feel like you're doing really well right now as a team?
Well, we started off a little slow. We, as a lot of people, I'm sure I don't want any sympathy here, but we lost probably arguably our best offensive player the last day of summer, if you can picture that. So that was a tough loss, and took us a while to overcome that offensively and kind of find our way without him. But we've done a nice job of recovering, and really we've gotten better. Our offensive line has gotten better each and every week, and our skill positions have also improved. And that's all we can ask for. Our kids have improved every week, and it's really paid off.
Coming out of tonight, going into Lafayette Wildwood next week, they're 6-1. What do you know about Lafayette? What are you gonna have to do to come out on top there?
Yeah, Lafayette, they're very athletic. They're a dangerous offense. Coach Manny does a nice job at Lafayette. We're used to each other. We play each other every year. It's always a tough battle. This year in particular, they got a couple key athletes and positions that are tough to defend. And on the defensive side, they fly around and they game tackle. They run well. They pursue to the ball. So it'll be a tough challenge.
Coach, as you look at your district, about when do you start looking at those district numbers to kind of see, hey, can we move up and maybe get a home game, kind of handicap your district?
Yeah, so we preach to the kids. We're always worried about the next opponent, but I won't lie to you. As coaches, we've kind of started looking the last couple of weeks at what could happen and the possibilities going into district. And to be honest, I'm not sure after tonight that things will change, much next week, regardless of what happens next week. So we think it's kind of pretty much set. We kind of feel like we're going to be the 3 seed regardless. Jackson, I think they're locked in at number 2, and it looks like Settlement after tonight's win will be the lock in at 1. So we're kind of banking on that. But because of our district, the way it's set up, the first 3 seeds are going to receive a bye, which is good and bad. You always worry about a bye week with a high school team, but I kind of welcome it this year because of our depth at some positions and the workload that some of our kids have had to handle. And so I welcome that bye week. But we're going to, we got a chance to win the conference next week with Lafayette. So that'll be a big challenge, and our kids will be excited to play that. That's what our main focus is right now.
Very good. Well, Coach, I greatly appreciate you being part of the show. Got to sit down with you a few weeks ago and talk a little Lindbergh Flyers football. And my father, that's where he started his coaching career, was there at Lindbergh. So it's good to get the Flyers on.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, and welcome me back anytime.
You bet. Thanks, Coach. Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you.
You bet. Lindbergh Flyers head football coach Nathan Norman. That's 2 references to my father here over the past couple of callers here that we've had online. Jim May on his staff is Terry Flanagan, who was my high school coach my senior year. Tom Cox was at Mount Vernon my freshman through my junior year. And then he moved down and took the Webb City job just for a year, I believe, and before he went to Ozark and then retired. And after a number of years, got back in it there in Mount Vernon. But hey, right now we're going to take a quick time out. We're going to come back and we'll visit. We got Jeff Geschwender from Hannibal calling in, also Casey Merrifield from Ava, and John Perry from Nixa, all coming up here on Friday Night Live at the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back to Missouri Sports Network. Here's Friday Night Live, Friday, October the 13th. And we're in week eight of high school football. Next week will be the last week of the regular season, and then we'll start with playoffs the very next weekend. So week 10, just around the corner here, and just like that, playoffs will be starting. We'll run through some finals here. We'll be joined at about 10 after by Jeff Geschwender, the head football coach at Hannibal. Finals tonight, Christian Brothers defeats Warren Central out of Indiana 47-3. It was Rockhurst over SLU 40-22. Kickapoo shuts out Glendale 40-0. Let's see if we can. At last report, Pacific was leading Herman 35-12. Sarcoxy over Diamond 31-7. That in the fourth quarter. Also in the fourth quarter, Fort Zumwalt North leads Fort Zumwalt South 21-14. In the fourth quarter, 28-13, Warrenton over Archer Farm, and I believe that has gone final. We have to flip over to the mission page to just double check that. Lafayette, Wildwood, and Rittenhour were tied at 21. That game late in the fourth quarter. Lee Summit West, Lee Summit North, that's 14 all. And that game in the second quarter there. We will check up on some other finals. Here's a little bit slow to get scores in tonight. But Lamar over Cassville 41-7. Marionville defeats Ash Grove 42-0. Seneca over McDonald County 38-17. Nixa over Republic 31-28. Lebanon defeats Camdenton 34-26. Ava over Kabul 54-14. Mount Vernon defeats Marshfield 56-21. Webb City over Neosho 37-18. Nevada defeats Monette 48-0. Fairgrove over Clever 58-0. Kickapoo shuts out Glendale 40-0. Branson over Ozark 35-7. That's a final. Reed Spring 17-13 over Rogersville. Bolivar defeats Hillcrest 44-7. West Plains defeats Parkview 44-20. Rolla defeats Waynesville 28-7. Willard over Carl Junction 22-14. Aurora over East Newton 32-7. Thayer 68, Willow Springs 14, Mountain Grove 27, Houston 12. Pierce City defeats Miller 28-6. Stratford, late in that game against Lighthouse Christian, they lead Lighthouse Christian 42-0. Warsaw defeats Skyline 34-26. College Heights Christian over Jasper 82-28. Liberal defeats Rich Hill 66-6. Lockwood over Appleton City 58-22. Midway defeats Lincoln 50-20. Adrian over Colcamp 55-6. Checking the Misha scoreboard, see if they've updated, and we'll run through those as well. We'll start off here with 8-man football. Finals, St. Paul Lutheran over Hardin Central 51-8. South Holt defeats Mound City 54-26. Again, these are 8-man football scores. It was North Shelby over Oric 64-18. South Nottoway defeats DeKalb 60-0. Schuyler County over Northland Christian 62-14. South Nottoway over DeKalb, I just read that, 60-0. St. Joe Christian 80, Princeton 44, and Worth County over King City 62-8. Elsewhere, it was Bishop DeBerg over Lutheran South 39-37. Central Park Hills defeats Dexter 44-10. Adrian over Colcamp 55-6. Chaffee defeats Donovan in a forfeit 13-0. Westminster Christian Academy over Deschênes 49-0. Raytown South over Excelsior Springs 36-20. Troy Buchanan over Fort Zumwalt West 49-0. St. Vincent over Grandview 35-13. Blair Oaks over Hallsville 49-0. St. Paul Lutheran 51, Hardin Central 8. Mountain Grove over Houston 27-12. Lafayette County over Lexington 58-6. Liberty defeats Lee Summit 15-10. Lindbergh 35-0 over Melville. Reed Spring defeats Logan Rogersville 17-13. Monroe City 36, Macon 7. Marceline over Weststrand 14-13. Marionville shuts out Ash Grove 42-0. Marquette over Hazelwood West 44-0. Moberly defeats Mexico 13-0. East Buchanan over Mid Buchanan 35-6. Pierce City, they defeat Miller 28-6. South Holt over Mound City 54-26. North Shelby defeats Oric 64-18. Schuyler County over Northland Christian 62-14. It was Oak Grove 45, Harrisonville 20. Odessa over Chillicothe 49-6. Pacific over Herman for 42-20. Palmyra shuts out Highland 44-0. Milan over Polo 28-7. Poplar Bluff defeats Kennett 42-7. Rockhurst over Slough 40-22. Elias Catholic shuts out Smith Cotton 63-0. South Nottoway shuts out DeKalb 60-0. Again, that was 8-man. South Shelby over Centralia 48-14. Southern Boone 35. Osage 14. St. Clair over Windsor Imperial 55-14. St. Joseph's Christian 80. Princeton 44. St. Pius the 10th out of Festus over Bayless 48-8. St. Genevieve over Jefferson Festus 49-7. Thayer defeats Willow Springs 68-14. CBC over Warren Central Indiana 47-3. Penny defeats Wellington Napoleon 56-24. Was Winfield shutting out Cuba 7-0. And an 8-man, Worth County over King City 62-8. And Bowling Green goes to 8-0 as they defeat Wright City 52-6. So we await Coach Jeff Geschwinder here from Hannibal. Hannibal right now is 7-1 on the season. They defeated Marshall tonight 56-7. It's week 8. Week 9 is the final game of the regular season. As you look at some of the district brackets coming up here as we await Coach Geschwender, as you're looking at football districts, and here's Coach as we speak. And we welcome to the show now Hannibal Pirate head football coach Jeff Geschwender. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Coach, big win tonight. And really, since that opening week 1 loss, you've kind of rolled. But a big win tonight, 56-7. You guys go to 7-1. Talk about tonight's contest.
I thought kids played well. You know, they came out, know what needed to be done. Thought our offensive line played extremely well. You know, got some different guys the ball a little bit who, you know, came out and performed well. And you know, defensively has just gotten better and better, you know, from the start of the year. So, you know, kids they're having a lot of fun, you know, they're having fun at practice and they're coming with the attitude of just never being satisfied, you know, always knowing, you know, that we can get better and we can do things better.
What do you feel like you're doing really well right now as you head into the final week of the regular season?
Well, like I said, our defense is playing really well right now. You know, they're getting super comfortable in there. We're playing on reaction instead of having to think, and we're just playing fast. You know, our linebackers and defensive line are really played well. Our defensive backfield's getting extremely comfortable and confident. So you know they've absolutely upped their game quite a bit. I mean, we look like a different team than we did, you know, 7 weeks ago on defense. So been real proud of them, not just kids but the coaches. You know, it's been good. You know, offensive line again, you know, just keeps getting better and better, and you know, we got offensive line like that. We can give the ball to a lot of different guys and try to stay as fresh as possible. You know, and something else that I feel has gotten a lot better is our special teams. You know, we've gotten pretty sharp there on our kickoff teams. You know, have really taken pride in doing that stuff well and putting teams in bad field position.
Coach, coming out of week 8, obviously there's going to be, you know, guys are going to have bumps and bruises just because it's football. It's a brutal game, or a very physical game, I should say. But are you, other than that, bumps and bruises, are you relatively healthy?
I mean, yeah, we came out with nothing today, but you know, like you said, we've still got some guys banged up that we're hoping to get back soon. You know, we you know, got a two-way kid that's got a broken collarbone, a two-way kid's got a broken hand. A little bit more and more. But yeah, you know, we're starting to turn the corner and get healthy a little bit. We've what's been kind of nice, not that it's nice having kids hurt, but it's allowed some of our guys that we knew we were going to need as far as rotators and knew we were going to need to get reps at. They got a ton of reps through you know, through the bulk of this season right now, and we really feel that's going to help out when we get to the long run and you know, other guys start getting healthy.
Now you go next week. You go to Battle in Columbia. What do you know about Battle, and what are you gonna have to do there?
Well, I mean, I really don't know too much. You know, we haven't watched anything yet. I'm getting ready to start watching them here pretty soon. As soon as I get off the phone with you, but you know, they're always extremely talented as far as athleticism. You know, I know they came out and beat a good Jeff City team tonight too. So they struggled early in the year, but I think we're starting to turn the corner a little bit, and I'm anxious to see them on film.
At what point during the season do coaches kind of start looking at the numbers with regards to districts and hoping to get a home game? I mean, you're sitting right now at number 4, but you're not even a point behind Warrenton, who's sitting at number 3. What point do you start looking at that and then trying to figure out how do you move up?
I don't know, to tell you the truth. You know, we kind of put it in our kids' head. You know, I feel when you start doing that, you kind of start looking ahead a little bit. We really try to keep our eyes on the week that we've got right now, you know. So, and regardless, when it gets down to it, you're going to have to win to get out anyway. So, you know, we feel that if we just come out and continue to get better and continue to play, I mean, the district seeds are what they are, you know, and you know, we just need to come out and be ready to play with whoever gets put in front of us.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, as always, I greatly appreciate you being part of of Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network. And congratulations on the big win, and best of luck next week.
All right. Thanks, Guy. Appreciate it.
You bet, Coach. Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hannibal Pirates head football coach Jeff Geschwinder, and as I mentioned, they're sitting in that Class 4 District 4. You look at his districts. Parkway North is number 1 right now, and they're 6-1. Holt is number 2 at 5-3. Warrenton is 8-0 at number 3. Hannibal it's 7-1 at number 4, followed by Lutheran St. Charles, and Mexico. We'll run through the scores here, and as always, shoot me a text at 417-327-6914, 327-6914. You can go on our YouTube channel, and you can message us there. We have a little chat overlay that's set up here, and you want to message us right there, then you can message us right there. And I'm trying to tweet out the YouTube channel, and it says you can't do that. So we won't do that because I've already done it apparently. So I can go back down through here and retweet that channel. Anyway, you're listening to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And we'll go through our Twitter stuff just in case we have gotten some more scores. We did get a final here a minute ago. Warrensburg defeats Clinton 57-6. And we've got, I'm not sure who that is, but whoever played DeSoto, they won 51-21. Willard holds on to defeat Carl Junction 22-14. CJ now is 1-7 on the season. It's their final season in the COC conference as they have moved to the newly formed Ozark Mountain Conference, along with Branson out of the COC, out of the Big 8, Marshfield and Rogersville, and out of the Ozark Conference, Bolivar and West Plains. So that conference, they will begin playing next week. As I mentioned earlier, Jordan Cribbs hit the game winner. Let's see here, 53-20 win here, and I'm not. Okay. My apologies here. I tell you what I need to do. I probably need to take a quick break here, and well, I've got a coach calling to 10:20, so we'll just stay right here with you. So let's see here. And again, we're refreshing. You can go to MissouriSportsNetwork.com, and you can watch the show live there. You can go to our Facebook page and watch the show there as well. Most folks are watching it on YouTube. As we go here, and again, I apologize. I'm trying to do a lot of things here at once. So my apologies here. We'll check on our score stream here. We'll run through these scores one more time as we await Casey Merrifield, the head coach at Ava, and they're really rolling right now. Elsewhere across the state was Christian Brothers, CBC, Christian Brothers Cadets, or College Cadets, 47-3 over Warrenton Central Indiana. Rockhurst defeats SLU 40-20. Kickapoo over Glendale 40-0. And we've got some scores that have not been updated here yet. So let's just go back here and check and see if we've got them updated. Blair Oaks moves to 5-0 as they defeat Class 3 number 10, Southern Boone. So that game is 35-14. Southern Boone defeats Osage, 35-14. They're 7-1 on the season. Oh, we've got Keith Maresfield. We are joined now by Ava head football coach Casey Merrifield. Coach Merrifield, thanks for your time today.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
You bet, Coach. Moved to 8-0. Tell us a little bit about tonight's contest with Kabul.
Kind of a barn burner. You know, we kept Kabul out of the end zone, but they did move the ball really well on us, and we were just able to find the end zone. Kind of not so much a shootout, but there was a lot of offense in the game.
And 54-14 was the final. Tell us about some of your kids who really played well tonight.
We had two different backs that really ran the ball well. Our fullback, Hunter Adams, probably right around 150. We haven't got it statted yet. I think he had 4 touchdowns. And Rylan Dixon, one of our wings, he went off for probably 200 yards. I think he rushed for 3 and then caught another touchdown.
Coach, at 8-0 right now in the season, what do you feel like your team's doing really well as you head into the final regular season game?
Well, I feel like we're about to hit our stride. You know, we're trying to get better each week. Offensively, we're gelling. You know, we got 4 guys that can beat you on any play, and defensively, we feel like we're getting better every week, and we hope to see that improvement show up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, as you look at your district right now, you're sitting atop that district. There are 7 teams in your district, so you're going to get a bye, you know, in week 10. You know, kind of break that district down. Do you get to see? I know you see, teams like Mountain Grove, but do you get to see other teams that are in your district?
So we got 2 really big unknowns in our district. Us right now being St. James and Eldon, a couple teams that we have not got a chance to see yet. And we're hoping that, you know, during that bye week, us coaches can split up and get a little scouting done and kind of see those teams. You know, we do know what Mountain Grove is. They're going to be a very physical football team. And we were fortunate enough to get them early in the year. But, you know, we got to continue to get better and work at our trait to be ready for whoever we're going to see.
And I know it's week 8. You got one more regular season game. Kids have a lot of bumps and bruises. But outside of that, I mean, are you relatively healthy at this time?
Yeah, it's a much better year than it was last year. We've got like you said, the bumps and bruises that slow you down, and we're thankful to have that bye week coming to try to let some of those heal up. But outside of that, no major injuries.
And you're at Willow Springs next week in week 9 to end the regular season. What do you know about Willow Springs? What are you going to have to do there to come out on top?
Willow's struggling this year. They're very young, and they're trying to build a culture over there of winning football, and they're just at the beginning of that process. We got to go over and just show up ready to play and just take care of business and do our job, and we'll be okay.
Very good. Well, Coach Merrifield, I greatly appreciate you, being part of the show tonight, being generous with your time, and congratulations on the home victory tonight. And maybe we'll get to catch up later during the playoffs.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Coach Casey Merrifield, they're from Ava, and they are rolling right now. They're 8-0, and they're the 1 seed in that district. They got Mountain Grove as the 2 seed. St. James is 3. Eldon is 4, then followed by Buffalo, Salem, and Clever. So right now, if the season were to end next week, it'd be Mountain Grove taking on Clever. St. James would play Salem, and Eldon would play Buffalo. They would host Buffalo. So that's a look at that Class 3 District 5 right now. As you look at some of the scores, continue to get some scores coming in here as we will run through the scores here quickly. In fact, well, let's do this. Let's take a quick timeout, and we will be back after these messages from your Missouri Sports Network.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The Walnut Street Inn is located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State Campus, Hammonds Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network here at MissouriSportsNetwork.com. And we're certainly glad that you have tuned in. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Let's see. Trying to run down some more coaches and see if we can get some more coaches on the line. We are expecting John Perry here in just about 3 or 4 minutes. And we're reaching out now to Bill Sucharski, and that is not who that's not who I thought it was. They don't play till tomorrow. So my apologies there. We'll run down through the scores here as we go. We've got Normandy Collaborative 38-8 over Afton. Ava defeats Kabul 54-14. And again, my apologies. Trying to run down some other stuff. And as always, we are brought to you by Liuna, Labor's Local 663, who remind everyone, hey, drive safely in work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Scoreboard right now, as we sit here at 10:27 on Friday the 13th, Normandy Collaborative over Afton 38-8. And I got to check some other stuff here real quick. Here's where, again, we are doing this all on our own. Hey, sign up and follow us. We got one more chat up here. Alan lets us know that he's going to come on here in just a moment, and we'll be joined as well here by, and there's Alan. Alan, let's see if we can slide him in here. And we can't because he doesn't have a picture. Alan's going to have to probably, maybe now he's got a picture. There you are, Alan. Can you hear me?
Yep, now I can.
All right. Tell us a little bit about the ball game that you were a part of tonight.
Well, it was a classic running battle. Waynesville and Lebanon, essentially each quarter was one drive per team is what it averaged out to be. And Rowlett scored on the first drive. Waynesville drove about 75 yards, fumbled in the red zone. Rowlett would later score, and Waynesville had a chance on fourth down in the close to the end of the first half, not able to convert. Rowlett would capitalize, score on the 90-yard drive, and 15-0 at halftime. Rowlett scored in the third, but Waynesville just couldn't overcome that. They picked up a touchdown late in the game, but it was pretty clean ball game. It was a fast one. It was not even 2 hours.
Hey, have you seen it? Have you got a chance to look at any of the scores from around the state? Anything surprise you?
The Camdenton-Lebanon game, a little bit there. It was pretty competitive overall. But, looking at that, those are, two teams that are still Well, we're still in the running, but now Lebanon is guaranteed a share of the conference championship. I didn't see the Kickapoo score. I am
40-0.
Well, so Kickapoo still has a chance for the conference title if someone can knock off Lebanon. But Lebanon will have their final game in Rolla this coming week. Or I think it's in Rolla.
Yeah, if you've got a chance to pull up any of the scores, we're struggling here just a little bit to get some of these finals here on our Score Stream app. Michigan's got a lot of them updated, but a lot of these have not gone final. We're still getting fourth quarter scores. There's folks haven't got an opportunity yet to put them in. Michigan is updating, and coaches usually are pretty good about getting their scores in early. For football, because it has such a tremendous effect on the district standings. But so we can run through maybe some of those Michigan scores. We got an opportunity today. We've already visited with Jim May, who's the head coach at Scott City. They played last night and got a big win. Nathan Norman from Lindbergh just was on with us just at the 10 o'clock hour. And then at 10:10 was Jeff Geschwinder from Hannibal. And then we just got done visiting with Casey Merrifield, who's a head coach at Avon. Coming up here in just a moment, we're going to have John Perry from Nixa, and they get a big win over Republic to kick a field goal with 1 second, or as time expired, I should say. So they win 31-28. So looking forward to that conversation there, and he's got to be excited. His team, a year ago lost in overtime to Republic and ended up splitting the conference title there. But we are looking forward to this update, talking about his game, what they went through. They had a tremendous battle on their hands, and Republic is awfully good, and they're going to make some noise, I think, maybe possibly in Class 5.
Oh, absolutely. I watched several games during my broadcast there, and the Nixa Republic game was one of them. The other was the Ozark Branson game, and then Lebanon Camdenton. And all three, well, two of them were very, competitive games. The third one, affected Waynesville and districts, so I was keeping an eye on that. But, the Camdenton Lebanon game, watching that game live there, it was, back and forth until the end.
Yeah, and anytime you get those two together, they're such rivalries, and there were a lot of rivalry games tonight with Lebanon and Camden being one of them, Kickapoo, Glendale, and that ended up going in Kickapoo's favor really big, 40-0. And there was a lot of extenuating circumstances or outside stuff, and from that game, surrounding that game as well. But then you had other Battle. Columbia Battle was playing Jeff City. Not sure how much of a rivalry that is with Columbia Battle being a relatively new school. So we'll see. And then El Dorado Springs and Stockton, and they're rivals and everything. And El Dorado Springs wins that game 22-19 tonight. But we're waiting on Coach John Perry from Nixa. I just sent him a text to see, and I haven't seen Coach Archer. He's usually in the green room as well, but unable to get. May have trouble getting linked in, but I'm going to run through the scores real quick. Here it was Normandy Collaborative over Afton, 38-8. It was 4-14. Battle defeats Jefferson City 29-14. Bishop DeBerg over Lutheran South 39-37. Caruthersville defeats East Prairie 53-20. And we will be talking with Coach there. And we welcome to the show now. And we welcome to the show now. We've got Coach John Perry from Nixa. And Coach Perry had him all the way, didn't you?
Well, it kind of went according to plan. Not really.
Had to be exciting. I was watching the game, and a very physical game, and a well-coached and well-played game. Tell us about it from your standpoint, from your point of view.
Well, I thought it was a fantastic football game, and I felt like they did everything in the world they had to do to win the game, as they did last year. They just had the ball last, scored, went for two. Well, this year I felt like they played just as well. I mean, they did everything they had to do. Like, they're a very well coached team. They play really hard. We just had the ball last, like our offensive line and the running backs kind of controlled it. And we were able to get it down. We weren't able to get it in the end zone, but we were able to get it to the 2 or 3 yard line with 1 second to go, and was able to kick a field goal and get out of there with a win. So we are grateful for the win, no doubt about it.
Well, a big night for your offensive line and your defensive line with that offense that Republic runs, and able with Ryder. I think he's got 24 touchdowns on the season already. Talk about how special that kid is.
He's outstanding, and that's a sure sign that the good Lord works in mysterious ways, because that kid just showed up in Nixon, Missouri, and somebody around here must be living right, and he blessed us, and we got 2 running backs that are absolutely fantastic. Well, Ryder moves in, and got off to a little bit of a slow start with the summer and all that, because he was learning an entire new offense. But man, he is fantastic, and the two are a lot alike. They're both similar in build. They're both similar in balance. They're both wrestlers. They're both tough kids. Like, having those 2 guys, and then you throw in Spencer Ward behind that offensive line, man. Like, we were able to run the football tonight, and they knew that. They onside every single one of them, and we luckily recovered all of them. If they recovered just one of the onsides, they probably beat us.
Coach, what do you feel right now? You're week 8. You're going into the last game of the regular season. What are the Eagles doing really well right now?
Well, I think we're staying the course. I think we're getting better. I think we are motivated to be the very best that we can be. Like the thought of being the COC champs, I don't think really hit anybody, because at the end of the day, we were just trying to get better. We were just trying to win today, and be the very best that we can. And I think our team is climbing. I think we're getting better. I don't think we're there yet. I think we got a long ways to go, but I think they are definitely hungry to get better. And that's the one thing that I probably love the most about this group, is their desire to show up, work hard, do whatever they're asked to do, and get better.
What was the week like going into this Republic game, knowing what happened last year? Was that talked about amongst the kids, the coaches? What was that feeling like going into this game?
It really wasn't talked about a whole lot. We talked about it Sunday as coaches, and this was my thought. If we turn this into a revenge game or a payback game, then what we're saying is our kids are already not playing as hard as they can play. I work under the assumption that our kids are playing at the very top, hardest that they can play. So, it was about just getting better. It was about doing the things to win a football game that we need to do. And that's not turning it over. That's creating some big plays. That's getting them to punt a couple times, because we couldn't get them to punt last year. We actually made them punt, I think, twice this year. So it wasn't, like, we didn't feel like the best team won last year, but they did, because they played the perfect game that they had to play. And they came out tonight, and I would have never thought they could have done that 2 years in a row, but they did. We just so happened to have the ball last. So we didn't spend much time talking about Republic. We talked about Nixon. We talked about what can we do to be better and how can we win this ball game.
Yeah, I know it's week 8 as you head here into week 9. Everybody's going to have bumps and bruises. Outside of that, are you relatively healthy going into the last remaining game?
Yeah, we're extremely healthy, which we are blessed, man. We have a great strength and conditioning coordinator for our school district. Our kids work hard. We lift weights all the time. And some of that's just being lucky, but some of that is putting in, the work to try to be the best we can be. And we are healthy. We're as healthy today as we were 9 weeks ago when we started.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time here, and I know we'll catch up again here in the postseason, and I'll let you go and experience this one and enjoy this win. But we will certainly be looking forward to the next Nixa Eagles football game.
Man, I thank you, and I appreciate what y'all do. You do a fantastic job. Thank you for having us on.
Hey, you bet. Thanks, Coach. Good evening. John Perry there, nice enough to call in, and boy, I was watching that game, and it just looked like at some points it looked like Nixa was going to maybe get a 2-touchdown lead, and then Republic just kept coming back. And Ryan Cornelson there at Republic does an outstanding job. They run that little wing tee offense, and it's a lot of misdirection in the backfield, a lot of motion in the backfield. So it's tough to defend, but Nixa got through with it, and they did a tremendous job. And we've got oh, good heavens. And we welcome to the show now Caruthersville head coach, Coach Dominic Guglielmo. And Coach, hey, I apologize if I mispronounce your last name, but thanks so much for being part of the show. You get a big win tonight.
Yeah, I mean, as you can tell, I'm losing my voice. That was awesome. And the crazy part is I think we only ran about 20 offensive plays.
Wow. 53 to 20 tonight over East Prairie. Tell us a little bit, 20 offensive plays, but tell us a little bit about tonight's game.
East Prairie came in and they had a similar game plan as last year, and they were snapping the ball with about 5 seconds left, and I think they ran almost 80 offensive plays. So our defense was out there for a while. Punt return touchdown. Sammy Bryant, our tailback, he ran for like 3 touchdowns, all over 50 yards. Defensive line, and they run that double wing, and they stood in there tough and disrupted their pulling guards. And I was just proud of the guys. That playing that double wing's tough, man, especially when you're a spread team. And I mean, you can't really beat a 53 to 20 homecoming victory.
Yeah, I know we got to visit with you a little bit yesterday because you had to prepare for today. You had an athlete of the week there, sponsored by Chevrolet and the Missouri State Highway Patrol. What was it like? Were the kids, pretty focused today, even after the parade and the homecoming celebrations?
Oh yeah, they were. I was really proud of them, man. You have the pep rally, then you flip to the parade. As soon as you're done with the parade, we feed them dinner quick, and then they were on the field after the parade in about 28 minutes, getting warmed up. They didn't let them phase it at all. You could definitely tell that our conditioning program really benefited us tonight. Those kids, they fought and fought and fought. Our player of the game for us was Oscar Dominguez. I'm pretty sure, I haven't got the final stats, but he probably had like 20 or 22 tackles. He was all over the place.
5-3 on the season. You're sitting in that Class 2 District 1. Kind of handicapped that a little bit. We just got done early in the show visiting with Scott City head coach Jim May, they're just a couple spots above you, but the records in that district are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that's a stacked district. Coach May's got himself a heck of a football team over in Scott City. I mean, you're looking at a Kelly team that I think is 5-2 or 5-3. I mean, New Madrid's undefeated. Valley, I think, lost to Steckman. It's a tough district, man. And right now, they're for that 4 through 6 seed right now. It's separated by like 4 or 5 points. So we're all kind of biting for that home playoff game right now. And it's going to be an intense playoff situation. I mean, if it ends up being us and Kelly, it's going to be a heck of a football game. Kelly's a pretty dang good football team. And if it ends up being us in Scott City, I mean, you're talking about some of the best athletes in the district playing against each other on one field. I mean, their quarterback was Car Trophy winner last year. Monte's hopefully a Car Trophy finalist type kid this year. And so regardless of who we draw in that, and regardless of how the points spread out, it's going to be, no matter who wins the district, they're going to have to fight for it. It's going to be tough sledding for them.
Hey, Coach, did you come out of tonight's contest relatively healthy?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, yeah. I mean, we got bumps and bruises. That's football. I mean, you're talking week 8 football. Everybody's got a bump and bruise, tight muscle here, tight muscle there. But I think from talking to the kids and seeing how kids were moving at the end of the game, and I mean, everybody looks good when they're jumping up and down when you win the homecoming game. So I believe it did come out pretty healthy. I mean, we're going to be sore. We're going to have to break out the ice baths on Monday. You know, those jokers are going to be sore, especially those big guys up front. I mean, our D line and O line, they're going to be nice and tender on Monday, so we're going to have to fill up the ice bath, get them in there.
You got Hayti at home next Friday. Maybe a rivalry game, but it's your third home game in a row, and they're struggling this year. But what do you know about Hayti?
They're our rival. I mean, this Battle of Boot Hill. It's going to be, regardless of the records, that this is going to be a game. And they've got an excellent coaching staff over there. Sean Jackson's a heck of a football coach. D-Rob's a state championship football coach. And they're a young program. And I'm pretty sure they brought in a win tonight against Malden, so they're going to be feeling the ropes just like we've had two really good showings. I mean, regardless of the record, you know how rivalry football goes.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, shoot, I go to McDonald's in Hayti. I'm in Hayti so much that, and Hayti kids are in Crothersville so much that half these kids are best friends, or some of them are related, cousins. Coaches on both staffs have coached together before, so everybody knows the ins and outs of each staff and each program. And this is a week that's circled. I mean, it's week 9. It's rivalry game, and in about 1 hour and 14 minutes, our focus shifts to Hayti.
Yes, indeed, Coach, and I understand it. And hey, I greatly appreciate you being part of the show. And again, I'm so sorry about the pronunciation, but can you give it to me one more time? Your last name?
Guglielmo.
I got close. Guglielmo.
No, hey, I've heard people butcher that joker, and I lived here for 2 years, and they still call me Coach G.
Yeah. Well, Coach Guglielmo, I greatly appreciate you being part of the show. Congratulations on the big win, and we look forward to visiting with you down the line.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate everything you do.
You bet. Thank you, Coach. Have a good evening. Coach Guglielmo with us there, and Alan Hilliard of Alan Hilliard Sports is here on the show. And Alan, there's just some names I have trouble with when I look. Great interviews there with Coach Perry and Coach Guglielmo. They got wins tonight. We had Casey Merrifield. They're undefeated at 8-0. Jeff Geschwender from Hannibal, Nathan Norman from Lindbergh High School, and Jim May from Scott City. And as you look at maybe the districts, and we can pull those up. We're not going to be able to go through all of them. We just got a couple of minutes left here. And I'll run through the scores real quick here as the scores that have been entered this evening. And Normandy Collaborative over Afton 38-8. Ava defeats Kabul 54-14. Battle defeats Jeff City 29-14. Belton over Raytown 21-20. Bishop DeBerg defeats Lutheran South 39-37. Caruthersville 53, East Prairie 20. Pleasant Hill shuts out Kansas City Center 42-0. It was New Madrid County Central 53-29 over Sykeston. Central Park Hills defeats Dexter 44-10. Scott City over Charleston 55-20. Adrian 55-6 over Colcamp. College Heights Christian 82-20 over Jasper. Cape Central out of Gerardo 51-21 over DeSoto. Sarcoxy defeats Diamond 39-13. It was Chaffee over Donovan in a forfeit 13-0. Westminster Christian over Duchesne 49-0. Aurora defeats East Newton 32-7. Aurora 4-4 on the season. El Dorado Springs, they defeat Stockton 22-19. It was California over Eldon 35-33. Raytown South defeats Excelsior Springs 36-20. Father Tolton over KIPP KC Legacy 40-8. Butler defeats Forsyth 63-43. Butler 8-0 now on the season. Fort Osage over North Kansas City 52-7. Francis Howe defeats Francis Howe Central 55-28. Timberland over Francis Howe North 32-21. St. Francis Borgia defeats Fredericktown 42-0. Fort Zumwalt North 21, Fort Zumwalt South 14. Troy Buchanan shuts out Fort Zumwalt West 49-0. Kirksville over Fulton 44-7. Trenton defeats Gallatin 45-14. Chaminade over Gateway 41-24. Green Valley defeats William Chrisman 61-16. Kearney over Grandview 42-7. St. Vincent defeats Grandview Hillsboro 35-13. Blair Oaks over Hallsville 49-0. Hannibal defeats Marshall 56-7. St. Paul Lutheran Concordia 51-8 over Hardin Central. Harrisburg defeats Fayette 50-8. Highlands Park, Kansas defeats Northeast Kansas City 36-16. Bolivar over Hillcrest 44-7. Mountain Grove defeats Houston 27-12. Jackson over Holt 48-20. Joplin defeats Carthage 49-21. Kickapoo shuts out Glendale 40-0. Lafayette Wildwood 24. Rittenhour 21. Lafayette County 58-6 over Lexington. Lebanon defeats Camdenton 34-26. Lee Summit North over Lee Summit West 28-21. Lee Summit North, number one in the state in Class 6. They remain undefeated at 8-0. Lee Summit West falls to 7-1. Liberty over Lee Summit 15-10. Lindbergh shuts out Melville 35-0. Lockwood over Appleton City 58-22. Reed Spring defeats Logan Rogersville 17-13. Monroe City over Macon 36-7. Marceline defeats West Strand 14-13. Marionville over Ash Grove 42-0. South Callaway 28. Mark Twain 20. Marquette over Hazelwood West 44-0. Maryville defeats Savannah 39-20. Moberly over Mexico 13-0. East Buchanan over Mid Buchanan 35-6. Midway 50-20. Lincoln 20. Pierce City over Miller 28-6. Nevada shuts out Monette 48-0. Montgomery County over North Callaway 26-6. South Holt defeats Mound City 54-26. Mount Vernon over Marshfield 56-21. Stanberry over North Andrew 38-0. North Platte shuts out West Platte 44-0. North Point over Washington 28-20. North Shelby 64-18 over Orick. Schuyler County defeats Northland Christian 62-14. Oak Grove over Harrisonville 45-20. Seckman defeats Oakville 28-7. Odessa over Chillicothe 49-6. Warrenton defeats Orchard Farm 42-19. Sullivan over Owensville 28-7. Branson defeats Ozark 35-7. Pacific defeats Herman 42-20. Palmyra over Highland 44-0. Park Hill defeats Staley 37-14. Parkway West over Parkway Central 35-7. Pembroke Hill over Summit Christian Academy 21-14. Poplar Bluff defeats Kennett 42-7. Nixa over Republic 31-28. Lafayette Wildwood 24-21 over Rittenhour. Rockhurst defeats Slough 40-20. Rockwood Summit goes to 8-0. They defeat McClure North 47-6. Rolla over Waynesville 28-7. Warsaw defeats Skyline 34-6. Slater over Knox County 46-26. Helias shuts out Smith Cotton 63-0. Smithville 36. Pittsburgh, Kansas 18. South Harrison over Scotland County 38-6. South Nottoway shuts out DeKalb 60-0. South Shelby 48-14 over Centralia. Southern Boone defeats Osage 34-14. Bramer 80. Southwest Livingston County 36. St. Charles West 35-25 over St. Charles. St. Clair defeats Windsor 55-14. St. Joe Christian over Princeton 80-44. St. Pius X Festus 48. Bayless 8. Capital City wins in a forfeit over TW Prep Academy. Tarkey over Rockport 36-16. Thayer defeats Willow Springs 68-14. Tipton over Lone Jack 50-0. Versailles defeats Buffalo 28-0. And that's not a correct score because I thought Buffalo played Butler, but we shall see. Valley Catholic defeats Vianney 49-7. CBC over Warren Central Indiana 47-3. Warrensburg defeats Clinton 57-6. Webb City over Neosho 37-18. Webster Groves defeats Northwest Cedar Hill 21-20. Penny over Wellington Napoleon 56-24. West Nottoway over Stewartsville 56-6. Worth County defeats King City 62-8. Winfield over Cuba 7-0. And Bowling Green defeats Wright City 52-6. And Alan, I'm wore out.
That's a lot of scores.
Yeah. I didn't realize had all those already downloaded, but good to get them in here. And as you look at these districts, Lebanon has kind of got that, their district secured, don't they?
Yeah, I would say Lebanon is pretty much set number one. This area here, the Waynesville, Kickapoo, Nixa district, that one is pretty much set also. It appears pretty much set, barring, Ozark defeating Nixa, which anything's possible, but that would be a very strong game if that happens.
Yeah, Waynesville. Nixon's the 1 seed. Kickapoo, Joplin, Waynesville, and Ozark. And right now, if that district were to start playing next week, the top 3 would get a bye, and Ozark would travel to Waynesville, and that winner would get Nixa, and then Kickapoo would host Joplin. And I think that Kickapoo-Joplin game would be a good game.
I do too. I think that's going to be kind of a matchup that I don't think they've played each other since the Ozark Conference when Joplin left the conference.
Yeah, I don't believe that they have. But I did play in a district game, but that's been, years ago. Nevada, another team, they're 7-1 on the season. Their only loss is to Lamar. And you look at that Nevada district, which is Class 4 District 7. Nevada sits atop that right now. Lincoln College Prep comes in at 6-1, but there were some rumors that maybe they might have to forfeit some of their games. And then so that may put them down at the bottom of that. But you've got Harrisonville at 3, Carl Junction, Grandview Center, and Southeast. So with that being a 7-team district, then the 1 seed would get a bye and wait for the winner of, if it ended today, that Carl Junction, the Carl Junction Grandview game, and they would get that winner. And Carl Junction at 1-6, but they're top. They are above Grandview right now because of they're playing Class 5 and 6 schools, and they're getting bonus points.
Yep, that's one of the things. For instance, last year, Central was an example. Last year, their schedule gave them the home game as the 2 seed last year in a district which was very competitive at the time. But playing up these smaller schools, some of them, that's a lot of their schedule.
Yep, it is indeed. So where are you at next week?
I'll be back here. We'll be in Waynesville as West Plains comes to visit.
Well, I appreciate you jumping on here with us here and kind of bantering back and forth a little bit. And next week you'll be at Waynesville, so you might be able to get home a little quicker.
Oh, yeah, I should be home a lot quicker there.
Yeah. Well, very good. Well, Alan, for Alan Hilliard, AlanHilliardSports.com, we greatly appreciate everybody tuning in. You've been watching Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.